Welcome back, everybody, to the Needed Podcast. My name is Ulises Benitez. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you guys so much for clicking the video. Make sure you guys stick around because we are entering a new year in 2023, and we're just gonna recap a little bit about what was going on in 2022, and then also what we hope to. Not even hope, actually. Let's get rid of that word. What we're gonna do in 2023. If you guys are new as well, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And if you guys are a returning viewer and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It's like literally the only thing I ask for. We want to grow the channel. We want to grow the podcast. And I thank you guys for all the support, man, in 2022. We are in season 2 of the Needed Podcast. And if you guys are new viewers, basically this season I invited special guests, new guests, people that I had never had on the podcast before. Season 1 just consisted of basically family and friends, and it's been a good run, man. This is episode number 17. This is obviously a solo episode, but I wanted to introduce you guys into the new format of what I want to do for the Needed Podcast in season 3, because I am going solo, and then occasionally, yes, I am going to have a few guests, but really the biggest thing for me is being consistent. So this is why I believe that going solo and being able to get on here weekly, deliver a solid message for you guys and have some fun with it, I think we'll all enjoy that. Really, me, I'm all about consistency. So it does feel off when I'm not on here. And a funny story, this is my 3rd time recording this video, guys. The first one, it was good, but it wasn't great. And I just, didn't feel like it was what I wanted out of this video. So me being that genuine person and wanting to deliver solid content, I said, I got to refilm this, right? So I came in this morning and I shot the video. Everything was great. It turns out I never recorded the actual audio on my Rodecaster. So here we are again, try number 3. I'm determined to obviously get this done. And you guys are obviously watching this now on YouTube, so you know that I went through the struggle to get this done. But I really wanted to deliver this video before the new year started. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Every time this time of the year comes up, right, like we want to kind of like trace back our steps in what we accomplished in the previous year, and then also what we want to accomplish in the following year. So 2022 has been crazy. Really, I wanted to give you guys a life update too, and this is why I've been so inconsistent here, because I've had so many other things going on. It was a bit overwhelming. The year got really busy. Around the summertime, I took a trip with my wife to Europe for the first time. We wanted to do that trip for so long, and it was great, man. We had an amazing time. We love it. We want to go back, and some great things happened after that. We're expecting baby number 3, so we're super excited for that, which we'll get into in a bit. But really, 2022 started off a little slow for me, but I was able to kick off season 2 of the podcast. We both grew our businesses individually and then also together as a family. We've grown a lot. 2020 was when we moved to LA, so that was a rough year alone. 2021, we were still kind of climbing the ladder. In 2022, we really saw things finally, grow into fruition. And thanks to your guys' support, man, we wouldn't be able to do none of that without you. So we definitely want to just send our love your way and just say that we appreciate you guys. Gratitude is like a number 1 thing for me. Something I definitely focused on this year. So, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Moving forward, we took that trip. Obviously, we found out we were pregnant, so that changed everything, right? So it's crazy. Like, we're really gonna have another baby. And if you don't know, I already have 2 babies with my wife. We have Max, which is 4 years old, and we have Camila, who's 3. So they're only 11 months apart. They're actually damn near twins, or Irish twins, actually, which is really a thing. That experience was crazy leading up. Camila pretty much grew up out here. Max grew up a little bit more in Stockton for the most part until we moved. So it was a lot of transitions in the last 2 years. Now moving into 2023, expecting another baby, it is a bit of a change, but now there's like about a 4-year gap. So now it's different because our kids are more aware that there is a baby on the way, so they're all over my wife, hugging, kissing the stomach. It's really nice to see. I love being a parent. I love being a dad, I should say, period, and my wife does too. And we're so blessed, man, to be able to now both be working from home. If you guys don't know, if you guys are new, but if you do know, that I was, and I still am, a barber. Barbering is really like my core foundation of what like built me. But I was never really home, and thankfully when the kids came, I had made those little shifts and transitions to be able to not just depend on trading my time for money all the time, having to show up to work. We'll get a little bit more into that, because I definitely want to touch on that. And that's what I hope that eventually you guys can do too, because it's such a blessing to be able to be home and be involved, and stuff like that, especially as a dad. Moving forward, man, as far as 2022 goes, at least for me, I didn't accomplish, a few things, and I'm not really one to look back too much into the things that already happened, but we can't forget to retrace those steps and to pat ourselves on the back, for those things that we said we would do. One of the big ones was finally filling up my barbershop. As you guys know, or if you don't know, I always say that because I don't know who's watching, but I have a barbershop back home. Started as a barber, built my foundation there, opened up a business. When I moved, that business was running. I actually remodeled my entire shop before I moved, so a lot of time and money spent on that. We expanded to 12 chairs. We started with 6, and then boom, the pandemic happened. So I actually lost people instead of thinking that I was going to gain people. But now, thank God, fast forward, we are finally full, man. I'm the 12th barber there, but only when I go in town. But I do have 11 barbers. Shout out to them, man. They're a solid group of people. Definitely the best team I've ever had. And shout out to everybody back home that supports my shop. It's such a blessing to be able to create a growing environment, and even me as a leader, as an entrepreneur, like learning how to build that proper infrastructure to be able to have the systems in place for that business to run itself. It's great, man. It's great. It gives me more time to work on the things I want to continue to either learn or also build on. So it's been such a crazy ride, man. But really, to give you guys like a little bit of perspective, it took damn near over 2 years or close to 2 years to even do that, so just to give you guys a little bit of an insight on really how long things take when you do them right, and how persistent you have to be through the ups and downs, so that was a big thing for me, man. Another one was definitely growing the Act of Faith brand. So if you guys aren't familiar, my wife and I came together. We both have a passion for any kind of clothing, and we created this luxury clothing brand, and it is a challenge. It's not easy. It's definitely not just a blank that you just buy, put your name on it. A lot of people are doing that now, right? So we did a full cut and sew line, which means that you literally buy the material, you cut the pattern of whatever it is that you want to make, you have to perfect that, and then you jump into all the details, right? So it's a full project from start to finish. We did start that in 2020. We had our ups and downs with it, and honestly, going into 2022, it was like, do we continue this? Because it's almost like the middle child of our businesses, like, do we continue this or we just drop it? I said, you know what, let me take over. Let me go 10 toes down. Let me make sure I go all in on this, and we'll see what happens, right? So I built the full collection. That took me, I want to say, 8 months. Dropped that around August or September. It might even be September, but I think it was in August. That did really well, thanks to your guys' support. A lot of people loved that we restocked instantly. Boom, next drop. So we added a few more items, but it was the same drop basically. That did really good too. And then recently, a few weeks ago, we dropped our third installment for the year, our fall winter collection, which did really well. That one was crazy because it was several items, several SKUs. It wasn't just like one thing in different colors. It was multiple SKUs, and that did really well, man. And we just leveled up with it. It's not easy, especially because in the times that we live in, guys, like, people got to really want to buy your stuff, because right now, like, people just aren't dropping money like that. We're in a bit of a recession, I understand. So super grateful always for the support. When we did that, just to give you guys a little bit of something to look at, right? Something to compare. So our first core collection, which was just mainly like tank tops, biker shorts for women, basketball shorts for men, the t-shirts, unisex stuff. It was pretty much the basics. Our most expensive item was $60, right? Which was a tank top with some biker shorts. Now our new drop, our cheapest item was $60, which were some cargo pants, and those sold out, by the way. I'm sorry. We hope to restock soon, but now we jumped into the triple digits. Now we have items at $125 being the most expensive. So just to show you guys like that extra level that we jumped, and it's not easy to do that. It's really a calculated risk. Not a lot of people just bet on themselves like that, and you know what I mean. It's really like my wife also having the full trust in me, putting together something that I know it's gonna sell, and I put my all into it when it comes to the quality. I'm actually wearing one of the hoodies right now, and if I am actually rocking my stuff, like I'm a picky guy, and then if my wife approves, for sure we know it's good. So thank God everything's been working out with the line. Basically I had 3 drops this year, so that's been great. And really though, when the year started, that was like my main focus, like let me build up this Active Faith brand. I do have another brand, which is Sharp and Ever Collection, which is hair and beard products. And Sharp and Ever is actually my barbershop name. The S&D Collection is an extension of that. That already did well in 2021, 2020. So it was like, okay, time to move on and grow in this other category. And man, it's been a ride, but here we are. I think part of that is too also why I've been a little exhausted, man. I really want to say it's that, I really don't like to be, I'm not an excuse kind of person, but I'm being honest with you guys. I'm being transparent. Had to breathe. I'm sorry. You see that's really what 2022 felt like for me, man. Like those deep breaths, right? But that's part of it. And then also I go through my little moments. If I don't feel 100%, I'm not gonna pour out a version of myself to you guys that's not really me, as a whole. So it's been I'm like paranoid. I'm over here making sure that this is being recorded. But that's really where we're at, man. But we're here today. You guys are watching this right before New Year's, man. So I want to really pour out that good energy to you guys, and 2023, it's gonna be great. I do have some things in place that I want to accomplish, but really I want to challenge you guys to be there with me. I really want to send some words of encouragement to anybody that's listening. We are on different platforms, whether it's here, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple. So make sure if you guys are new to the channel that you guys check those out. I've been getting a lot of support on those 2 platforms as well. So it's good to see that people actually like the podcast, and I think that's why when I go MIA, people miss it. So, I know it's my duty to make sure I'm on here. So that's why I'm doing the solo 2023. But, before I jump into what I want to challenge with you guys with, let me actually just recap a little bit about the kids, because of course the life update wouldn't be a life update if I didn't tell you guys about, what I care most of. And that's obviously my family, and my wife obviously has been pregnant. So she's been a little crazy at times, but then also a little nauseous, and that's just normal. I do my best to be understanding, and you know what I mean? I'm really there to serve her and to be there for the kids and stuff like that. So I just always try to figure out ways to, be a problem solver, if you want to say, you know what I'm saying? Like the dad is really, really important in a family. So I want to make sure I'm that strong person. We had a few things, little incidents with them being sick and stuff, like had to go to the urgent care recently. There was a lot of shit going on. And, you know what I mean? Like I can't be the one to lose my shit. You know what I mean? So I've just really been there for them. But my wife's been doing good. As you guys can see, she's been a little inconsistent at times, but she's still doing her thing, man. She works, you know what I mean? If before, let's say 3 videos got her tired, now 1 gets her tired, or even the thought of doing 1. You guys have been seeing her channel if you don't follow her, or if you do, you guys know, you guys have all her stuff that she does, but she's a strong person. So I know she'll continue to do what she does. And, at the end of the day, just like I tell her, it's not just about how you feel. It's also, the baby that's on the way, making sure that you're good, because then the baby will be even better, so it's just perspective at times. It's having those good conversations and stuff. But as far as the kids go, like I said, they're excited to be older siblings soon. Our life has been a little different just because they started pre-K actually this year, which was a big step for them. My son was technically more ready than my daughter was, but surprisingly my daughter is really, really thriving as a 3-year-old in pre-K, and it's a blessing to be able to do that. It is obviously a paid school. It is a Montessori, so it's a bit of a different program. They definitely teach them to be more independent, and I think we already practice a lot of that at home, so having that in school is really important for us. Just give them what we didn't have, give them really that head start, that true head start. And they've been showing a lot of good signs. They're both communicating a lot better. They're both learning a lot of skills. They're pretty independent, which is great because they don't depend on the parent to do it, like everything. It's even the smallest thing, guys, of like tying their shoe or feeding them, like stuff like that already at 4 years old they can really already be doing, so going to the bathroom by themselves, picking up after themselves, coughing, putting their elbows so they don't get the germs everywhere. Like there's like so many little manners that they're learning, which is so dope to see, and they're doing it together, which was really important. I told my wife I think we should put her in because they like doing stuff together and they're gonna grow at the same time, and they're really like sponges right now, so they've been doing good. But with that comes a schedule change, right? So they have been starting at 8:30 in the morning, and then they get out at 3. So me guys, if you guys already been following me on Instagram, you guys already know that I'm an early bird. So let me get some water real quick because I need a deep breath. This is the problem with doing a podcast by yourself, that you got to take these little breaks. But I'm gonna keep it raw for you guys. I'm gonna let you guys know really how it is. And now I get to speak, man. I get to really just talk the entire time. So you guys can't tell me shit about like interrupting somebody. So as I was saying, their schedules have been changing, and you guys do know that I'm an early bird. If you guys follow me on IG, you guys know that really like the peak of Ulises would be being up in the morning. And the perfect day, it would be me getting up at 4:30, getting ready, stretching a little bit, putting on my workout clothes, getting into some kind of something that's going to really help my mind, which would be either a podcast or reading some kind of book, which I actually picked up in 2022 for the first time in a very, very long time, really since school, honestly. So that's something that I'm proud of, that I started reading, and it's helped me a lot. And what that does, it just kind of gets me in that mode. I learned something, I'm educating myself on something, I read something that really strikes me, that just kind of gets me fired up. As I'm doing that, I'm typically either drinking a coffee or a pre-workout, and then I jump into my workout. Now, mind you, this is still before 6 a.m. So now before 7, I would be done. I would get into the house, do some kind of, clean up a little bit if I have to, breakfast, get ready. And then now the kids are already up. My wife's getting them ready. She's making their lunch, and then boom, we go off to school. So that's very different too, because my wife isn't a morning person. She is a night owl. So, I'm always considerate. I like to make sure she gets her rest. Recently, we've been actually switching up our sleeping habits, or just sleeping in general. Like the bed situation, all that stuff has been having to change because the kids are bigger. She is pregnant, so it's been crazy. But we'll leave that for another video. We'll go a little bit into that, but not to get too much off topic. But I take them to school, and then I jump into whatever work I have to do, whether it's me being at the office, or if I have to do some haircuts, or if I have to do errands for the house, or if I have to work from home, whatever. Like I'll just handle that, and then boom, I pick them up, or she picks them up if I'm busy. So that's kind of our routine, guys. But of course, we get a little bit of free time to ourselves, even if we want to go on a brunch date. It gives us a little bit more time, and we know they're in good hands learning and stuff. So, but the whole goal of that schedule is to finish what we have to do from 8:30 to 3. So then that way when they get home, we're done. And the blessing of being able to work from home is that you do control your own schedule. But at times it gets a little crazy, and we've had those talks too, where I tell her like, hey, like we gotta, get a better balance going here and stuff. But, all in all, guys, things are good. Like I said, the family is growing. We're excited. The kids are doing great, healthy. And, like I said, they were a little sick and stuff, but we're past that, and just looking forward to see what's coming. But now it's really about you guys. Enough about me. It's really about you guys today. And this message that I want to give is really to challenge you guys to really, really be more aligned with that higher version of yourself. Like we all know that we have that voice in our head of where we want to be, right? Like we know that we can do that, but sometimes we have so many things that are distracting us from that, and we're not really living in congruency to that person we want to be, which means that we know that we have to make certain sacrifices, work hard, wake up earlier maybe, or go that extra mile and whatever it is that you're doing, but you're not doing that. So that's why we start getting a little anxious, a little depressed, a little down. Maybe we have the wrong people around us. So we're going to jump into a few of these things that I know are going to help you guys. Feel free to drop a comment once you guys finish this video. Appreciate you guys sticking around. But let's jump into it. I did put a little bit of notes just so I make sure I don't forget, because I want to make sure I capture everything here, right? So this is something I challenge you guys to do. The first one is spiritually, and I think, for those that don't know, it's really just learning how to have those conversations with yourself, like to truly ask yourself like what you want and how you're going to get there, really meeting that higher version of yourself. And you know what I mean? Like I said, for me this year was picking up those books, or listening to those better podcasts, like never stop learning, to listen, like those things are going to help you guys a lot. And then for me, of course, jumping into that workout, it's really like the mind, body, soul thing, guys. I think spiritually that all kind of comes together, and I'm able to be at that high frequency when I jump into a workout. When I am getting up early, I already feel accomplished. You know what I mean? Like it's just so powerful. So whatever it is that's going to get you there, and we could jump into those topics later, that's the first thing, and it's going to start with you. That jumps into my next thing, which are relationships. The reason I say it starts with you, because that relationship is the most important one, the one with yourself, right? So you got to be okay with yourself. Also, it could be family and friends, or, people think relationship, they think, let's say your significant other, but that's part of it. But it's also the people around you, the people you got to let go. Those bad relationships, right? We got to cut that shit off and understand that, like, as you start leveling up, you're not going to have everybody there with you. Stop trying to drag everybody. Stop trying to save everybody. Like this is normal. You know what I mean? Like the roster is always going to have to get adjusted as you go. That's actually one thing that I learned early on. So I feel like that's why I've been able to progress in certain areas, because I already stopped, quote unquote, caring a long time ago. And I think sometimes we care too much about people's opinions or what people say, what people think you should do, when in reality, you're not even listening to your own voice. That's actually really the gut feeling that's telling you. And really, it's really that inner voice that's going to keep you the most aligned to whatever goal, you need to get to, guys. And that's why it's so important. Like I said, the first one is spiritually, because you got to start, having those inner conversations, right? It's almost like calling yourself out. And then the relationships are important, because that's obviously what's going to get you there, right? You need a relationship no matter what. I know people will say like no handouts and all this shit, but you need a relationship to get anywhere. It doesn't really matter. Like you're going to need to close those deals, to, have those people do certain content for you, whatever it is that you do. Like no matter what, you're going to need people, right? So that's why relationships are important. But in order to keep those relationships well, you got to be a good person and good with yourself. So you see how the steps are kind of like helping and like, leading up to each other. The next one is listening and learning. And I think a lot of people fail to do the first one, which is listen. It's not like they don't know, let's say they haven't learned it, but they fail to sometimes let that information kind of enter their brain. You got to be a student, man, of life always, and realize that you always constantly need this new information so you could evolve. You know what I'm saying? Life is all about evolving. Sometimes, I notice people, they're complacent, but then they're going through little shit because they just don't feel like, even though they are making money or having some kind of success, is not necessarily like where they want to be, because they're not putting themselves in that position or not allowing themselves to grow. So really, ultimately, guys, you do it to yourselves. You know what I mean? Like, we can't sit here and be victims and blame other people. You know what I mean? We got to take more control of our lives. We'll jump into that later. It's such a broad topic. You know what I mean? Like, well, what am I going to learn, But I'm not here to jump into, like, shit that might happen, because most of the time that stuff doesn't even happen, guys. Like, I know some of you guys are probably watching this thinking, shoot, well, what if this happens, bro? Or what if I can't do this? Or what if I don't have time? It's like, let's be realistic, I mean, I think we make time for what we want. And, it's time to cut off the bad habits and whatever it is that's holding you guys back, and allowing this new energy to come in. The next thing, which is gratitude. I was talking about that earlier, right? And I think for me, that's been a big thing. Just being aware that sometimes we're not grateful for certain shit, or we complain about shit that a lot of the times other people wish they had. Like, understanding that you're in a place where other people wish they were in. like being really an entrepreneur or any kind of journey you're on in general, it's really hard to acknowledge the steps, especially because sometimes people ain't clapping for you. You know what I'm saying? It's really just you. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to go back and acknowledge these things. Just be more comfortable knowing that sometimes it's not going to be a crowd behind you. You know, so I think for me, gratitude also could be just being grateful to, I mean, just waking up every day, you know what I mean? Having the opportunity to do what we do, to have a job, to be with your loved ones, whether it's your parents, your kids, significant other, just yourself in general, man. Like if you have any of that, just be grateful. Recently, this is a funny story time. It's actually not even funny. It's actually, you know, it's just like an eye opener, really, you know? So my kids got like a bunch of gifts for Christmas, and Max got this little fort that I was excited about because I always build in forts. I always build them like little forts with blankets, and then they like going in there and doing their thing, right? So they got this fort, and then I started building it. I said, screw it, let me do it. I'm excited to do this for them. And then it became difficult because if you don't know me, I hate building stuff, guys. So I hate building stuff. I just hate doing anything. It's so tedious to me. It's so tedious to me. For some reason, I've always just hated to do it. But being the man of the house, you know, this is shit you got to do. Like, you got to be able to do it, because then now, if I suck at doing this, my son's gonna suck at doing it, you know. So and maybe that does start with my dad, because my dad would always just pay people, and that's like the same habit I have. But you fail to learn, you know what I mean? So whatever. Like I said, there's so many conversations that we could like go into, but we'll leave that for another time in season 3 or whatever. But point is, I started the thing and didn't pay attention to the instructions, so it was already my fault. And I started building it. It got a little frustrating, and my wife already knows that I hate doing this shit, right? So she's like, why are you getting frustrated? And now the problem was that I was starting to take out my anger a little bit on Max. So I was a little frustrated, and then, you know what I mean? Kids just being kids. And she brought it to my attention, like, instead of actually telling them something, you should actually tell them to help you, and you guys can do the project together. And it just kind of put me back in this point of perspective where I was like, wow, like, and mind you, I was already kind of irritated because I wasn't on my shit as far as getting up early. So I still, don't get me wrong, guys, like, even though I wasn't waking up at 4:30, I still get my workout done. I still get things done no matter what. But I'm at my best when that happens. I'm better with those around me when that happens. There's so much positive that comes out of that. So the fact that I didn't do that, I was already a little irritated. It was already like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And then she tells me, you know, like, why are you getting mad and stuff? And I just told her, like, I have stuff to do. I'm going to leave this for another day. And then it just kind of brought me back. Like, I got to be more grateful that the whole point of this is gratitude, right? Like, I have to be more grateful that I could even do this on a Wednesday. It's like 2 o'clock. Other people wish they could spend time with their kids. Some of them are working. They can't even be home. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting here complaining. And again, guys, like, there's so much worse that could be happening. Yet I'm here complaining that, you know, the situation that I'm in, that others wish they were in, you know. And that's just to kind of show you guys, like, what I mean about being grateful. You know, it's such a broad thing, but, you know, just show gratitude, and you guys will see that your life will be a lot different. Even just this year, another thing that I did was reach out to all the people that helped me this year and just send them a nice little text. And I always had a problem doing that. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just expressing my feelings at times, but I said, you know what, I'm going to be better at that. You know, like, again, it kind of ties into the relationships too, and just keeping those people close. You know, I'm a kind of person that, you know, I hold relationships for a long period of time, you know, so just keeping those good people around me and just sending them, you know, a gratitude text and just saying, yo, thank you for everything you did for me this year. You were such a big part of the success. Hopefully you have a good New Year's, cheers, whatever, you know. And you'd be surprised how far that goes. You know, maybe those people aren't getting that. So be that person, you know what I mean? Like, be that source, you know, for people around you, and you guys are going to start seeing how your life can really change just by doing those simple things. All right, so now, last but not least, of course, at the end of the day, we're going to need to be having some kind of success, right, in 2023, as far as, you know, making money, guys. Like, but before we get there, you got to do the work. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, you can't avoid it. Stop trying to think there's the easier route. Do the work. That's the easiest way I could tell you guys. You know what I mean? That 10,000 hours of work, that shit's really important, you know? So there's so many things that you guys have to do, obviously, before you accomplish what you want to do. But like I said, you got to listen and learn, which is pretty much the information. Really have those inner meetings with yourself and figure out what you want to do, and then everything kind of just ties in. And then of course doing the work to get there. Hopefully that message spark something in you guys. Drop a comment below, let me know what you guys think. I want to touch a little bit on what I want to accomplish in 2023, what I will accomplish, I should say. You see how we're changing the way we speak to ourselves? It's important, guys. Like, trust me, it really is clutch. I'm all about helping people, right? It's really my purpose. I understand that's my purpose. That's what I'm best at. That's what I enjoy doing. And I feel like doing this next project is going to be really big for me, but bigger for you. And that's the Needed Academy 2023. The Needed Academy, of course, is tied into the Needed Podcast because it's going to have audio in it. So that's why. But it's an online course really helping you guys build as an entrepreneur. Again, sometimes people, it's not like there's not information out there, but when you don't pay for something, you don't take it serious. On top of that too, the person behind it, it's me. I'm going to really help push you guys, not just in terms of like what you need to know as far as the knowledge when it comes to building and creating your online store, but also on the self-development side. I think a lot of people stop there. A lot of people are really lacking in that area. Some people are successful already with their business, but when it comes to their mentality, they're shit. You know what I mean? Sometimes the person that has a better mentality has that edge, and that's really what I want to kind of like incorporate into the academy somehow to really help you guys build. And just like within each module that you guys will go through, like it's going to be really broken down. We're going to start off with the mindset. That's like the most important part. It doesn't really matter whether you got the money or not yet, but if you guys are okay and you guys are already a killer mentally, like you guys are going to accomplish whatever it is that you guys want, no matter what. That's what we start with. Then we jump into pretty much branding yourself. And then of course, like there's a bunch of information, guys, but pretty much I want you guys to jump into the online world. And this somehow ties into having a storefront anyways. I know some people are going to start saying like, well, what if I have, what if I don't want an online store? What if I only want a storefront? The thing is, you still need to have an online presence to be successful. My barbershop, it has a big presence on Google and on Yelp. So that's always going to drive traffic to my barbershop no matter what, aside from the name it has in the city. Just really giving you guys a proper blueprint. That's really what my goal is. And then to give you guys a bunch of information. Of course, most of the videos are going to be pre-recorded, but we are going to be having extra tiers in the academy that eventually will have like a community that we could build within the academy that has like live Zoom meetings, possibly phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Just having like that inner core group. Depending how people are doing in the academy, I understand that like, let's say 200 people join, maybe 10 are really going to take it that serious. Like, you know what I mean? It's always going to come back down to you, and I hold you guys accountable to that. Like it's hard, you know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you guys that from day one. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But for those that follow the blueprint, it's something that's proven without any false promises. Of course, I can't really sit here and say, 7-figure academy, how to make 7 figures, but then people don't make 7 figures. Like, how realistic is that? So I know that at least my blueprint is realistic, and I know that you guys are going to be able to relate to it, learn from it. It's going to have audio, it's going to have video, it's going to have text. So you guys go through it on your own time, but it's going to help so many people. And I'm really, really excited. That's really what I'm rolling out. And man, that's like the main thing. That's like my number one thing. And, maybe at this point next year, we'll be talking about the recap of that and how great it's doing and stuff. So that's really the vibe that we're on. The other thing, guys, would be, for me at least, it's always health wise, right? Health is super important. Health is wealth. It's a real thing. I'm pretty active already daily, no matter what, like whether it's lifting weights. Recently, I've been picking up the running, which has been really good. I've been getting new gear for the gym. I'm just on a different vibe now. Like, I'm starting to invest a little bit more in myself in that aspect, and got some dope running shoes that have been like super clutch. My cousin actually got those for me. My wife got me some as well. That's been really good for the daily gym wear. But just challenging myself a little more in that area of life. I think there's always a next level to reach and new challenges to face. And speaking about the running, I almost wanted to even sign up for a marathon, believe it or not. Like, I know the marathons are crazy. They're like over 20 miles, but you know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing if we're not challenging ourselves, right? So that's something I I'm interested in doing. But other than that, if it's just physique, if it's just the physique in general, I would say just get a little bit more into the vitamins, get a little bit more into taking things a little more serious, at least with the meals. I think, we could avoid a lot of shit just by being healthier, period. Whether it's getting sick or whatever it is, right? So that's always the number one. But the rest, of course, as far as business, it's that. And of course, making sure that our baby arrives nice and healthy and really just enjoying that time. We're expected to be due maybe like April, May. So the first 4 or 5 months of the year, the first quarter of the year leading into the summer is definitely going to be really, really busy and important for us. So be on the lookout for that. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. Let me know what you guys are. Let me know if you guys like this vibe for season 3, and drop your favorite part of the video. And of course, man, just like I said, the only thing I ask is for you guys to subscribe. So if you made it this far, you're a beast. You're for sure gonna be on that 2023 uphill climb like me. See you guys at the top. Blessings, cheers. Hopefully everybody has a new year. Sending the positive vibes your guys' way. And thank you guys so much for all the support in season 2. It's been a pleasure. I'll catch you guys next season. Peace.